Welcome to Azure's Lagoon and welcome to PolyAcademy number 29. 浮気や不倫を一切せずに同意のもとで複数のパートナーとの関係を楽しむポリアモリーという生き方。今回は一途じゃないことを彼女の両親に伝えてみたということで、2年前に本シリーズ開始して以来というか、むしろその前からずっとね計画はしてたんですけども、付き合って約3年半になる彼女のパパとママに、私と彼女が複数のパートナー OK という関係にあるその事実についてどう思ってきたか、そして今はどう思ってるか、そこのとこ、伺ったんでございますが、こちらもいろいろと細かい質問はあえて用意せずに、向こうの答え方もですね、何と言いますか、こちらの質問への直接的な答えではなかったっていう、そういう感じには、なっておりますけども、とりあえず、ご覧になって聞いてみてください。ではどうぞ。Thank you very, very, very much for accepting my request and joining yesterday and today. My goal today is to present to my audience says that although relationships can take many different shapes and forms, it's possible to share thoughts and feelings honestly with those dear and significant, even though they might be like some disagreement here and there, and communicate with understandings and consciousness beyond what the surface society or most people think and say about almost anything non-monogamous, like that dude is broken, he cannot be satisfied with just one woman or partner, or such a sex addict and all that that people want to say, and hopefully encouraging them to think what the essence is, the essence that creates and maintains and even develops good relationship is, whatever kind of relationships or partnerships for them to be in. I guess she's already given you to some level of summary or overview, but basically the deal between me and her is that she's not the only girl that I share intimacy with, and I'm not the only guy for her to like hang out and do some stuff with. And this thing we talked on the very first day that we met in person back in 2020, about 3 years ago, and still in effect currently. Although on the deep level, us two together get along well, absolutely the most, as a result, which many people in the polyamorous community call a primary or anchor partner, or whatever term that they come up with. And we most likely keep going like this for as long as our drive is alive. So with that, what I would like to hear is some of the things that you and her have talked about in the past about the fact that we are in a relationship like this, and some of the things that used to go through your mind as a parent at when she and I first started back in 2020, and maybe like few months or half an years later, okay, let's say we can let's say the end of 2020 or like early 21, if there's any like changes in what you think and feel about it. And now Leon, you can just tell me what you think and feel about like me in general as her boyfriend or just these few days about what you just found out, since you didn't know much about it. And if you don't really have anything to say other than she's a grown-up woman, and she is to make her own choices and face all the consequences, that's totally fine. But still hearing that from you, like your voice, it means a lot to me. Or you can curse or swear all you want. I mean, we do it all the time. So what you used to think when we first started, whichever of you who wants to speak first.
Yeah, so when we started dating. Parents' opinion when we first started dating.
Well, as we said just now, at least you're not called cockhead.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, like I said before, I don't have any specific thoughts or ideas about that. Like I said, Monique is a grown person.
Yeah.
She's not a young, insecure child anymore. She's an adult.
Yeah.
and she makes choices and decisions that affects her life, it doesn't really affect me. You guys are together, that's your choice, and I respect that. From the beginning until now, the fact that you tell me that's not an exclusive relationship, again, that's something that you guys have to handle.
Yeah.
I don't get involved in that. I don't necessarily understand all of that, but that's my problem. And there's no reason to share my misunderstanding or whatever with people, because that's not important. What is important is that, like I said before, the fact that Monique is happy. If you start disrespecting Monique or anything negative, then obviously yes, I will be upset, because that is my daughter.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you guys do what you do.
Yeah.
At least you don't have to go right into the house and punch
people.
like
Punching people.
I think you told me one time in high school, then boyfriend.
Yeah, when they had fist
Leon had to cause some chaos.
fist meetings with one another. Yeah. Yeah. Not much to say. Yeah.
I just think we've also been there at your age. We've been through it, and we know what it means when people judge you when you are at that age, and you having your own life, and people get into your life, and it actually has nothing to do with them. It's a life between you, but some people, especially older people, tend to get into spaces that they actually don't think what they're doing. That, and it's very important for us to think, because what we're doing, because we have experienced that when we were your age.
Yeah.
That
So
they interfere.
people interfering in your relationship that should just have minded their own business.
We've done things that my parents aren't necessarily proud of. My mother used to be very interfering, and that was that. And I just said, listen, but that's not your choice. That's my choice. And that's my decision. That's what we're going to do. That's how we live. That's how we raise money. And if you can't accept that, then you have to walk away. You have to stand back, because we will not change. You've had your turn to raise children. It is now our turn, and we do what we think is the best.
Right.
So, yeah, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, Leon had to be very firm with his parents.
Oh, mother, the father was...
The mother. But my parents was very far, so I saw them seldom. If I saw my parents, like, I don't know, once every 3 years, that was about it, so they couldn't interfere in our relationship at all. There was no interference from their side. But his parents were staying in Pretoria, and we were staying in Pretoria. So it was a bit difficult, because the mother was very controlling person.
She told me about it.
Do you want to answer anything else?
Were there, like in the very beginning, because now you two know so much more about me and us, and how she sees me and feel me and all that. But in the beginning, when you used to have a very little information, was there like a little bit like worried, or
Were you
Not at all.
concerned?
You're concerned? No, not at all. Because we've got a lot of trust in Monique's way of looking at people. I think she can easily see if somebody is true of heart. I don't think she will go for somebody that's false. There might be differences between you and her, might be differences, but still the overarching thing will be trust, and will always be trust between us and her, and us and you, and I suppose between you two, there must be trust. Because if trust is not present, then it's not worthwhile. If there's no trust, then comes in all the ugly things like jealousy, control, you know, all the ugly things step in.
No.
And that is why when Monique makes a choice for a friend or a partner or whatever, we trust her choices.
No.
I think she can make good judgment, you know, not to judge.
Sometimes.
Good judgment.
Sometimes I have good judgment and sometimes my judgment is horrible. Sometimes. Sometimes.
With all the boyfriends in the past, they were necessary because she learned about relationships, how a relationship works, how you have to find out if that person has got your best interest at heart or if that person just wants to control you. You know, it's a process. And each boyfriend that she had in her life was necessary at that time for her and the other person to grow, you know, in finding out about relationships, because how do you learn about a relationship if you are not in a relationship?
Right.
Dad, any opinion? Dad being quiet.
I don't know what to do this thing together because there's a short version, long version.
It's okay. Dad's version. Cock ice.
That has a lot of power. I like
For me, I was just happy that for me, my friends so soon after arriving in Japan, because if you're in a totally different setup, city, language, everything, it can become very lonely very quickly. So the fact that she had contacts and friends and whatever from the beginning, that to me was very important. But I don't choose her friends. I mean, she chooses her friends.
I think from the beginning I realized that if I didn't stop being introverted and stop being shy and very quickly start talking to people, I'm going to be very lonely. Especially after the whole COVID thing, where we were literally just stuck in the apartment.
Your timing was perfect.
For like, I think 3 months, we didn't do anything. We just sat in the apartment, and like, I don't know anybody, so I can't even text people. You're just sitting in your apartment. I don't understand Japanese TV, so I watch the movies that I brought. So watch movies, draw, take photos, because you're not allowed to go outside. So
with all the language barriers and anxiety that it was sure for her to face. As long as she can speak and understand English, there are always some people that she can count on. That's what I told her yesterday. What I saw her in the very beginning, when I first met her, was she has so much of what it takes to be able to make meaningful, useful connections with good people. So before it was like half a year between the time she first got to Japan and the time we met first. But even before I met her first, she has some network of friends that when she used to live in Odawara, which is like a few hours away from where we are now. In the downtown, close to the main station, there were couples running a hotel, hostel business.
Yeah, so they had a hotel in a ryokan.
Yeah.
All
that. And so she's very. My first impression was sure knows a lot about herself and has some outgoingness to be able to get along with whoever she chooses to. That is, I think, also this our agreement was pretty suitable, not just for me but for her as well. One time you felt very dangerous. One Friday night she went to hang out with a Japanese guy, and in the end she came to me crying that she was almost like you got almost kidnapped into his house.
Yeah, it was just a weird situation. It was really weird.
But a little while later, she made a friend with another Japanese guy. She went to go on date in full.
The firefighter?
Yeah. She told me she and you, Teresa, had some talk with
Yeah.
that person, and
Yeah.
she also went to date with a military guy.
Yeah, American guy.
Yeah, and both of them remaining good friends with her still
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Yeah, if I have some medical emergency, I always like the fireman. I always like message, what should I be doing? There's this noise in my area. Should I be worried? There's this thing going wee wee. What should I do?
What I actually want also to say is I encourage a lot of boys, little boys, to come and visit. She always had more boys to come and visit than girls. So I wanted her to get used to men very early on in life. Because I don't want her to feel like there's separateness between girls and boys, you know. So at all her birthday parties, there were more boys, little boys, than girls. Even if we went to the movies, there was a little boy who always went with us, and we actually stayed at the movies for two movies. And he only got home like between 12 o'clock at night and 1 o'clock. At that time, I phoned his parents and I say, okay, we're back. What age group were they in? Yes, they were still small. And
Like
then the
6,
parents
5 or 6?
after 12 at night, after 12 o'clock, and they come and fetch their little boy. You know, so we had a lot of little boys always in the house. And they enjoyed playing with Monique. So she was very familiar with that energy of boys. Very familiar from a very small age. And she actually preferred the energy of the boys than the girls. Because I think the little boys was a little bit more rough, you know, rough and tumble.
Yeah, the boys could play, like, do all the fun stuff, play all the good games.
Yeah.
Girls would just like
Yeah.
play with dolls.
Yeah.
Okay, I played with dolls for 2 hours. Now what's next? What's new? No man, come on, let's do something. Let's run around. No. Yeah.
Peaceful.
Okay.
So yeah, again oh, you good? Oh, we have extra participant.
But on me.
Goodness. Goodness.
Take me up on
Especially you can ask Monique, when you sit, you can look at the airplane going by and then all of a sudden this one is on your lap. You're not even prepared for it, but she just goes for your lap.
She's a lap dog. When you sit down, she's like, that's a mutton. Attack of the lap. I feel like from small, I was always very shy when it came to strangers or people I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like once I know a person, it's a lot easier. But
Yeah.
like shopping when I was small. If we went shopping and Mom was like, okay, so pay the lady for the food, and I would always be like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't know. No. And I mean, that's not much of an interaction with another person, but when I was younger, I was just like, no.
I always tried to get her out of her little box because she was really open with other children. But when it came to adults, you know, she was more to the back. And I always tried to do little things to get her out of her box, but it was very difficult. So I stopped pushing her and I thought, you know, let it be. She will show me when she's ready. But it took a long time for her to get over that very shyness it's in her personality. It's part of her personality when she was a child. So I accepted that and I worked around that.
You can take this off.
Yeah.
Dad says the time is nearly up.
Time is nearly up, yes. All right. I shall phone you back.
Oh, all right.
Please give us a minute.
Can you go and speak now? Thank you.
No!
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.